digital florists that we're excited to share with you, and that is a new analytic, which is your peak analytic. So in this case, it's Mother's Day. If you're a digital florist, you get to it by clicking on your analytics and then going to the Mother's Day tab here. And then it opens up the Mother's Day report. It's a new analytic, so if you find anything really useful or you'd like to see some sort of other information there, feed it back, because your feedback will improve what we can offer you. But essentially, it covers your Mother's Day days, tells you how many orders you've got booked in so far, what your sales are, what your average order is. Over here, volume impact. So now this is an interesting one because it shows you what your average day's orders are compared to what you've got in each of these days. Now, considering it's 10 days out, our average day is way above what these days are. I know that over the next few days that these graphs are going to change, so it's going to be really fun to see it changing. We've got all the different ordering by time of day, which I think that's a really useful analytic anyway. It's really interesting to see when people buy. But here on this graph here, I can see most people buy at 12 p.m. So if I can align my email marketing to go out as close to that as possible when people are buying, we're likely to be top of their inbox at that time. So again, it's making sure we're in the right place at the right time. You can see this little ring here showing delivery, collection and relay. Customer types, returning and new customers. I find this one really interesting. The biggest part of the pie is to returning customers. Until I started using a system like Digital Forest, I didn't quite appreciate how many of our customers were returning customers. If you'd asked me, I would have said it's about quarter. It's well over half generally. They do tend to, for something like a peak, they do tend to be the earlier orderers. So as the peak is coming on, I expect this part of the pie, the green part of the pie, to get bigger. And on the day, or the day before, when you get your last minute buyers, a lot of them will probably be new customers because they're sort of just Googling and finding the most relevant florist to what they want. Order distribution, so this is giving your different price points. So I can see our biggest price point is sitting between 50 and 75, which I'm quite happy about. That's kind of our usual average, so I'm happy that we're selling about where I would expect to be. I'm happy to see the second one here is 75 to 100. So again, it'll be interesting to see that graphic after all the peak figures are in and how it plays out. These ones will only come into their own as we progress with the peak. This tells you your best selling products. So again, that's really nice to see a good snapshot of what's selling well. Over here, what have we got here? So again, some of these ones are to do with how far they're placed out. This will be interesting as you get the peak, get to the peak, and you'll see that these 2 to 3 days out, 1 days out, will get bigger and bigger because you'll get that volume rush of people buying. This one's really good because it shows you the distribution by area. So you can see here what postcode area is buying the most, and it even breaks it down by average order and amount of revenue that each area is giving you. So once it is all over and the fat lady has sung, so to speak, this will be a really lovely analytic because it'll show you how much each area has brought you in. And then this again is a really good forecast because it's showing you, it's comparing it against last year. So it's given me my last year's figures. These are this year's figures so far. So at 10 days out, so for any of you new florists out there, this will probably warm your heart to see we've literally only done 7% of our sales as we stand here now. I know that is going to change. We've been a florist for a long time. I know we just have to trust that those customers are going to come and we'll do very similar figures to this. But it can be nail biting if it's in your first couple of years of business. It really can. And then again, this is one for when the Mother's Day 2025 is over. It will predict what you are going to do in 2026 based on the increase or decrease you do against the previous year here. So again, that will be a really good analytic because it'll give you a good idea of what to expect for the next year. So I hope you like that analytic. And as I say, if you're a digital florist and you're using the system, any feedback is gratefully received because we can just make it better for all of